We're affectstudio. I'm Bjorn.
And I'm Sophia.
And we wanted to talk a little bit about the project Hashi Mori.
Honestly, my gut feeling was right away, Hashi. It had the biggest impact. So basically I imagine, when I have this place and people pass by and they see it, they see, wow, wow, what is that,
When we were first approached by our client for this Japanese restaurant, he had these kind of 3 bullet points he put on the table for us. He said on the first thing, he wants a restaurant that has a certain identity and imageability, something that people can take home other than the good food, of course. The second point was he wanted a sense of coziness and privacy in the restaurant. And the third point, he wanted, of course, maximum efficiency, a maximum table count to get as many people in as possible. So our response to that was, rather than trying to do something with walls and subdivide space, which we needed to do, of course, to create this sense of privacy, we decided to put it all up on the ceiling and create a shifting ceiling installation that subdivides space and creates different moments in space and creates different levels of intimacy and gives each table kind of a unique place underneath this ceiling scape. The ceiling-scape is comprised of an array of vaults that happen above the 2 main seating areas, and they're made out of, rather than going for it in creating these vaults out of a solid material or a surface material, we decided to make the shape out of a propagated element, in this case a chopstick, which goes very much in line with Japanese traditional materials, aesthetics, and a theme, which was also something that our client was very interested in.
While the initial form was entirely generated on the computer, what you actually end up seeing in the space is completely dependent on handwork and handcraft. So everything from drilling each individual chopstick by hand, to staining each chopstick in one of 3 different colors, to cutting 14,000 strands of nylon and then beating each nylon, stringing it through the canvas, and putting each chopstick at a specific measurement and height in space. All of that is completely dependent on people to do it, not the computer.
Also, the way we sold this project to the client was actually to say, so you're not going to have any material costs. All of the costs are going to be in handwork. Then we had a crew of 12 people coming in for 3 weeks to achieve this form, in a sense, or build this form.
Where handcraft and technology mix is how each chopstick is hung at a precise measurement in space. And so each team is working with spreadsheets that we've generated on the computer that delineate what color the chopstick is and what measurement it is hung at from the ceiling. The only way to make a project like this in reality is to hang each chopstick one by one. And that really requires a lot of faith on the part of the people working on it, and just a faith in the numbers, that if you are as precise as possible, what we wanted that was generated in the computer will come out in reality. until you really get to the last point and install everything as a one greater piece, it's really hard to know. And there's a lot of effects that we had speculated about. Maybe, oh, when wind passes through, maybe you'll hear a sound with the chopsticks hitting each other. Maybe the nylon will reflect in the sun or the light. Maybe the colors will really create the shapes and depth that we were hoping for. But once again, like, until you really put each panel in place, there's really no way to know if what you did on the computer will ever happen in reality.
And I told them that they are like idea machines, you know. They have many ideas, and I think we have implemented quite a few of them. We, for instance, the rice walls, right? We implemented this idea of backlighting rice to give us really cozy lighting. We did that with the bar. Also, they came up with a great idea with the tables, you know. Having round tables, yet it's still, you know, expandable. You always have problems when you have round tables, right? When you have a group of 10, it's really hard to put them together. And they came up with these the table design, which is, you know, solves pretty much both.
I think many still see the computer more as a tool, or let's say as a mere tool for optimizing the work process, instead of really seeing it as a, let's say, creative tool or a creative medium. And if that's the case, and you rely too heavily on that, then inevitably you're going to end up with something very impersonal and something that just looks computer generated. But the truth is that with the advances that we've had in the last couple of years in hardware and software, and especially with the advent of simplified programming languages, the tools have become so diversified, and we have the opportunity now to actually script or design our own tools to do what we need for what we want to achieve. It also has a certain aesthetic tone or an aesthetic, underlying aesthetic that is derived from its logic. I think it is time to acknowledge the computer as a medium rather than just a tool, especially if you're working with it creatively. It's not that you just push a button and the result comes out. It's actually a constant back and forth between what you want to create, the initial idea you have, the concept, then you design that, you feed it into the computer, and the computer returns something, and then you have to analyze that result, and it informs your design process. So you feed that, what you learned from the program, back into what you're designing, and this constant back and forth at some point brings you an option that you would have never been able to think about if you would have just relied on, let's say, analog tools.
In the end, people coming to the restaurant aren't going to think, oh, the computer made this, but rather, who made this? How long did it take? How was this made? And I think that's a really important distinction between work that's often generated on the computer and what we're seeing now.
You know, when you go around Berlin, all the restaurants sort of look the same, you know. I actually wanted something that sort of sticks out, you know. And I think the Hashi installation really sticks out, you know. I mean, I found a great location. the cuisine, you know, is going to be authentic, and combined with the very cozy atmosphere and the crazy installation. I think it's just everything comes together, and I hope you come and visit.